They speak English. Англійська мова Шекспіра та нью-йоркських таксистів. Англійська стане у нагоді вам, бойські дівчиська.
Але вчилася я дуже добре, бо мені подобалося вчитись. Мова, література. Я писала твори, писала для всього класу і думала, завтра настане день, коли Ольга Іванівна класниця, моя викладачка, прочитає мій текст.
Hello guys, it's time for English lesson. My name is Natalia Lashko. Let's start. And I would like to welcome my very dear guest today. Hello Olga.
Hello, Natalia, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you today?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm perfect.
Great.
So let's have a lesson. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's go. Join us. So today we continue talking about literature, books and reading. I have a question to you. What do we read? So, well done. And now I will ask Olga. Olga, what do we read every day?
Every day, I read everything I can do. I read something on packages.
Okay.
I read a lot of books and magazines online. Of course, news. I do read news.
Okay.
Sometimes they're upsetting. And if about literature, I read O'Genry books because
This is nice.
You like O'Genry?
Yes.
And Virginia Woolf.
This is really good.
It's a challenge to read, but I like it. And also Agatha Christie. She's my favorite.
Fantastic. What types of books is this, Agatha Christie?
It's non-fiction.
Okay. Oh, detective?
Detective, yes.
Yes. So, let's have a look at my pie chart. Have a look. So, we have already discussed that at our lessons. We read comics, websites, magazines, adverts, as Olga has mentioned that she reads packages. Also blogs, newspapers and e-books. So, do you read the same or different? So, Olga, can you tell me, what of these do you read?
I don't like reading blogs.
Okay.
And e-books, that's my favorite because when my kids go to bed, that's an opportunity to open the book in my notebook and have a read.
Okay.
Comics, it's not about me, but my daughter, Zlata, she loves comics. It's more for teenagers.
Yes, okay.
Magazines, I liked old-styled magazines. I have a big collection since 1998, and I like reading them.
Okay, so let's create our own pie chart. So it's going to be a task for you. Have a look. So draw a big circle and divide it into different parts. If you look at my pie chart, all the parts are equal, but you can make them shorter if you don't read a lot of e-books, for example, or magazines or newspapers, or bigger if you read more. For example, for my pie chart, the books are going to be the biggest part. So, we are going to create our pie chart with Olga, and you create with us. Let's take 15 seconds. Let's go. So, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. So, Olga, can you show us your pie chart?
Sorry about my handwriting.
It's okay, mine is the same.
Actually, as you can see, Natalia, I read a lot of books in paper. Also, I have a big part of kids' books. We have a nice library at home. E-books is taking a big part in my everyday life.
Okay.
Websites and news are also very important for me, especially nowadays.
Good. Well done. Thank you very much for this. Let's have a look at my pie chart. It's a bit different. So again, the biggest part is paper books. I love them a lot. So e-books are not a big part because I don't like reading e-books because I care about my eyesight. And let's have a look at this part, magazines. It's almost the same as books. Newspapers, adverbs and blogs, again, a very little part. So you can tell about your pie chart. How much do you read? Thank you. So let's move on. these are different types of books. Do you remember them? We have already discussed that. What was here? Crime thriller. Yes, exactly. So, Olga, do you remember any types of books? You have already mentioned non-fiction, detective stories.
Fiction, poetry, novels,
Okay.
and maybe you can advise something else.
Yes, of course. So our kids, this is the lesson number 3 for them. So we have already touched this topic. So if you look at the letters, for example, like F and T, if you think about the genre, so probably fantasy.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantasy.
So let's guess all types of books here. For example, you have mentioned something like non-fiction.
Yes.
This is here.
Non-fiction.
Non-fiction.
And I can see Natalia biography here.
Yes, good, well done. Anything
Oh,
else?
that's quite difficult.
It is. So this is like a puzzle. Let's solve the puzzle and go bit by bit. Have a look at this one.
Non-fiction.
Yes, bravo. Non-fiction. Let's repeat again. Non-fiction.
Non-fiction.
Thank you very much. What about this? This is
Science
sim-
fiction.
Yes, thank you very much. Science fiction. And let's repeat again.
Science fiction.
Thank you. What about this?
Romance.
Yes, these are love stories.
It's all love. Jane Austen books.
Yes.
Oh, it's romance.
This is so sweet. So we call them romance.
Romance.
Yes. Let's move on. I have already mentioned this.
Fantasy.
Yes. Do you like reading fantasy books?
No, I hate it.
Ah, okay.
Sorry, can I say the word hate?
Yes,
Here?
okay.
Okay, fine.
You can express your opinion, no worries. But what about you? Do you like reading fantasy books? Okay, let's move on. What about this?
I'm sorry, I'm lost.
I will help you, no worries. The only letters that are missing are O's. Can you guess?
Horrors.
Yes,
Oh,
horror stories. This is not interesting probably for you, but a lot of kids and teenagers, they love reading horror stories, especially boys, right? Okay, let's move on.
Biography.
Bravo, biography. What about this?
Adventures.
Bravo. So let's say together, adventure.
Adventure.
Thank you. What about this?
Again, lost.
I will help you. This word consists of 2 parts. The first one is CM.
Crime.
Yes. And the
Crime.
second one is thriller.
Crime thriller.
Crime thriller.
Oh,
For example, Agatha Christie books can be crime thriller as well.
yes.
Okay?
And Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yes, bravo. So let's move on. What about this? You have already mentioned in different stories today.
Classic.
Classic what?
Classic novels.
Yes, bravo. Thank you very much, Olga. Classic novel. Let's say together. Classic novel.
Classic novel.
Thank you. So, we have already guessed all the words. Now let's write them down. Take a piece of paper, be ready, and we are going to write the words. So, Olga, we are going to write together.
Sorry.
Okay, you've got the golden pen. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I guess. Okay? There are going to be 9 words. So let's go one by one. Olga, you tell me, you dictate to us.
Let's start with adventure.
Adventure. So let's write down.
Adventure. That's my teacher, Alexandra Vasilyevna Vasilevska. She used to tell me, please write down the words 3 lines and you'll be sure in this word forever.
Yes. A lot of people say adventure.
In the
But-
French way.
Yes, but the correct one is adventure. So please repeat. Adventure.
Adventure.
Fantastic. The next one, Olga?
Fantasy.
Bravo. Good.
Horror.
Horror. This is the easy word to write, but you don't like it.
Who likes to be scared?
Okay. Let's move on with the next one.
Non-fiction books.
Non-fiction book. Let's go. Okay. Check the word, please. We use the hyphen here. Non-fiction.
Non-fiction.
Good. Let's go with the next one.
Biography.
Biography.
Can I say hello to my English teacher?
Yes, please.
Alexandra Vasilyevna, I love you so much. You're my favorite, and thanks to you, now I can feel confident with my new teacher, Natalia.
I can
Hello.
prove that this is the best student. Let's move on. The word number 6.
Let's do romance.
Okay. So let's say together, romance.
Romance.
Bravo. Let's continue. What else do you see?
Crime
Thriller.
Thriller.
Crime thriller. Let's write it down. Have a look. We have 2 different words. Crime, thriller. Well done. What else do we see? We've got non-fiction. What starts with S? Have a look.
Science fiction.
Yes, thank you
Science
very much.
fiction.
Science fiction. Science fiction. Non-fiction, science fiction. Okay? And the last one,
Classic novels.
bravo, your favorite.
Uh-huh. How do you remember how to spell the words? Do you have any life hack?
Well, probably writing 3 lines is a very nice technique to remember it. Or you can practice with our favorite puzzle solver. For example, I'm going to spell the words very fast and you guess it. Olga, you're going to be my helper. I spell the words very fast and you try to guess it. Okay?
Okay.
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
Bravo. Fiction.
Fiction.
Bravo. Novel.
Non-fiction.
Novel.
Novel.
Novel. Thank you very much. Okay, let's try a different one. Horror.
Horror.
Good. Can we try it a different way? You try to spell it and I'm going to guess.
Biography.
Good. Biography.
Adventure.
Adventure.
Romance.
Romance.
Yes.
Well done. A round of applause. Well done. Now, let's continue.
I like this game. I think it's very useful for contemporary kids.
Exactly. So, let's go with all the books. We are going to guess them. Have a look. This is the symbol of a book. Can you guess the book? I'm sure you can. Olga, can you help me? Because you love kids' books.
It's fairy tales.
Yes, what kind of a fairy tale? A very famous fairy tale about a magician or wizard.
It's Harry Potter.
Yes. So
is
this,
it? I didn't recognize him.
This is just a symbol.
Right,
A symbol of a book. So this symbol goes to a Harry Potter book. Now, I created a really difficult quiz for you. So let's have a look. There are many, many symbols of different books, and I would like you to think about the name of the book. Not the type of a book, but the name of a book. As you saw with a wizard, it was a Harry Potter book. For example, let's have a look at this symbol. Star Wars.
Star Wars, it's very
Yes.
popular between kids.
Yes. So, take your time and try to guess the books. And Olga is going to do it here.
I think I'm done.
Good, fantastic. So, are you ready? Let's check together. So, when you want to express your opinion about the book, you can use these phrases. Have a look. I think this is. So, for example, a crown. You see the symbol of a crown, and you can say, I think this is, and you name the book. So, let's go with a different phrase. This is the same. The meaning is the same, but you can just say it differently. I guess it is. Can you try, Olga? I guess it is.
I guess it is.
Bravo. I believe is also possible. If you're hesitant and you're not sure, you can say, I'm not sure, but I think, and you guess. And if you are 100% sure, you know it perfectly, you can say, I'm sure this is a Harry Potter book, for example. So let's go with all the books. Again, I think, I guess, I believe. I'm not sure, or I am sure. Let's go. The first book, Olga?
I'm sure this is Star Wars.
Bravo. Let's check. Correct. Let's go with the next one.
I guess this is Crown or
Okay.
Elizabeth the Queen book.
Elizabeth the Queen. Okay, let me put all these books on the board. So we have already mentioned Star Wars. Okay. The second one is Elizabeth the Queen. The next one.
I'm sure this is Little Women.
Bravo. Okay. Little Women is here as well. The next one.
I'm not sure, but I think this is Anne.
Anne.
Anne and Green Gables.
Yes, Anne of Green Gables. One more time.
Anne of Green Gables.
Yes,
I haven't
Anna
read this
Zelenik
book.
the Thief. This is very popular among the kids as well. Probably this is going to be your next book.
Thank you.
Good. Let's move on. The next one. We have already discussed this. What's this again?
I'm sure this is Harry Potter book.
Yes, exactly. So I'll put it here. Harry Potter books. What about this one? We have a loop.
Oh, this is, I'm quite sure this is Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, bravo. Adventure of Sherlock Holmes stories. Fantastic. Let's go with this one. We have a piece of chocolate.
I'm quite sure this is Charlie and Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay. And the next one?
And this one, I think this is Tolkien book, The Lord of the Ring.
Yes, The Lord of the Rings. Bravo. Okay. So we have all the books here and on the board. So have you read any of these books, Olga?
I read Little Women.
Good.
I'm reading it right now. It was a gift for my birthday this year. Elizabeth the Queen, it was a book I bought 5 years ago in London. Roald Dahl, yes, I read this book and it was my favorite book during my pregnancy with my third child. I read the one part of Harry Potter, because as
Okay.
you know, I'm not a big fan of fantasy books. I haven't read the Star Wars and the book about Anne. Sherlock Holmes, of course, this is my everyday reading. It's
okay.
supposed to be my everyday reading. And Tolkien books, no.
No,
I'm not a big
because
fan.
you're not a big fan of
Yes.
fantasy books. What about you? So point to the books that you have already read or choose the ones that you would like to read. Okay, now we're going to discuss these particular books. Let's go. Again, we are going to go with these phrases. You can't see the books now, but you see the phrases, and the books are going to be on the board. Let's go with the type of the book. I'm going to read a short summary of the book. Try to guess the name of the book and the type of a book, okay? Olga will help me here in the classroom, and you answer the questions at your place. Let's go. So, this book is written by John Rowling. This is a story of a young wizard and his friends who fight against a dark wizard. Olga, can you help me?
I believe this is Harry Potter.
Okay. And what kind of book is this? Type of book? We have detective, fantasy, biography, science fiction, non-fiction. What do you think is this? A classic novel, for example?
It's not a classic novel, I'm not sure, but I think it is fantasy book.
Is possible to say this is a fantasy
Or
book?
Adventure book.
Adventure. Which one do you prefer?
I think adventure. is more about
Adventure.
Harry
Let's
Potter.
go. Okay. So you can say that Harry Potter book is an adventure book. Let's move on. Listen to me, please. So this book is written by Arthur Conan Doyle. The stories are investigated by a famous detective and his friend. Can you guess the story? Olga, can you help me?
I believe this is Sherlock Holmes book.
Okay. What about the style or type of a book?
It's a detective, or you don't have this?
Yes, I do. Detective story.
Yes,
So you can say, I think, or I guess, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure this is detective.
Okay, well done. So Sherlock Holmes. Fantastic. Let's go with the next one. This book is written by Lucy Montgomery. The story is set in the late 19th century. It is about an 11-year-old orphan girl who is mistakenly sent to two middle-aged siblings. Can you guess the book?
Anne of Green Gables book.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And what do you think about the genre or the type of a book?
What is left?
Biography.
Classical novel?
Yes, this is classical novel. And which, okay, let me put it here. Anne of Green Gables. Okay, so this is a classic novel. What helped you to decide that this is a classical novel?
Actually, the cover of the book, because I can see the girl in an old-fashioned Victorian dress.
Okay.
And also the name. It's not quite contemporary. Anne of the Green Gables.
Yes.
They used to name these books 100 years ago like this.
And listen to me, the story is set in the late 19th century.
Right.
Yes,
also
so we have the
century.
time mentioned, and we can decide that this is the old book, so
That's
classic
why
novel.
classic.
Okay, let's go with the next one.
Excuse me, Natalia.
Yes?
And when the book becomes classic?
Well, this is a very interesting question. I guess when we have the definition for classic novel, these are the old books, but are still popular.
Okay.
So this is the old book, but people read it and read it again and again and again, so they call it a classic novel.
Thank you for explanation.
It doesn't die, let's say like this.
It doesn't die. Okay.
Let's move on. So this book is written by Louisa May Alcott. The story follows the lives of 4 Marsh sisters, Meg, Jo, Bess and Annie, and details their passage from childhood to womanhood. Can you guess the book? Olga?
I'm sure this is 4 women book.
Yes.
Little Women, sorry.
Little Women, yes. What kind of book is this?
It's also classical novel.
Yep, classical novel. We have it here. Fantastic. Let's move on. So, this book is written by John Ronald Tolkien. The story is a continuation of The Hobbit Bilbo Baggins, who finds the ring.
Yes, I believe this is the Lord of the Ring book.
Bravo. And the type of the book?
It's fantasy.
Yes, thank you very much. It's here. Okay. So this is one of my favorite movies, though. I haven't read the book, but the movie is very popular in my family. What about you? Okay, let's move on. This book is written by Ronald Doyle. The story features the adventures of a young boy inside the factory, Willy Wonka.
I think this is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory book.
Bravo! What kind of book is this?
This is
Fantasy, science fiction, biography.
Can it be classical novel, no?
Well, can be, but unfortunately we have it.
Yeah,
and
because Roald Dahl, he died already.
Yeah.
Poor him, sorry.
It's okay. But if you think about the story itself...
It's fantasy.
Fantasy, agree. Because the story comes from imagination.
It comes from imagination and shows the shocking imagination of the author.
Agree.
He's writing in a very spooky way, isn't he?
He is. So we have only 2 books left. I guess it's going to be easy. This book is written by George Lucas. The series tells about the adventure of various characters a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
It's, of course, I guess it is Star Wars books.
Okay.
And this is science fiction, as you can see.
Yes, science fiction, bravo. So, if you remember science fiction books, these are the stories about the space or future. We have the word galaxy, so we can guess this is Star Wars. And the last one, the Elizabeth the Queen. Let's read about the book. So, it is written by Sally Battle-Smith, and it tells about the life of the world's famous monarch. So, what type of books is this? Biography, right?
Biography, and this Elizabeth the Queen book. Biography, of course.
So there is also a very famous movie about this. It's called The Crown. That's why probably I chose the symbol for this book, the crown itself. Have you watched this film?
Yes, I actually looking forward for a new season.
Yes, me too. We can't wait to see the continuation. So let's move on. Have a look at this passage. So Harry Potter is an adventure book. It is written by John Rowling. This is the story of a young wizard and his friend who fight against a dark wizard. So if you look at this particular paragraph, I have different colors. So what is the green color, Olga? Can you help me?
That's the name of the book.
Yes. First of all, you start with the name of the book. Let's have a look at the blue one.
It's the type of the book.
Great. And let's revise. We have romance, crime, thriller, non-fiction. Can you help me, Olga?
Detectives, fantasy, biography, autobiography, fantasy, science fantasy we have.
Science fiction.
Science fiction, sorry.
Okay.
Non-fiction, fiction.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So let's move on. The red color, what's this?
That's the name of the author of the book.
Exactly. The purple one, the biggest passage.
That's a short review of this book, explanation, what is the book about.
Yeah, a summary or a plot, just a sentence that describes the book. Okay, so this is about the Harry Potter book. Can I ask you about the Star Wars book? Can you describe it? If you don't remember, you can pause the video, rewind, and have a look again and listen to my explanation. And Olga will help me with it. So, can you tell us about the Star Wars book, Olga?
Star Wars is a science fiction written by George Lucas, and it tells us about the past in the future.
Yes.
And it shows the imaginary world that took place long time ago, but
Okay.
actually in the future. Oh,
Yes.
sorry, I think I'm not a good explainer.
This is, you can explain in your own words, no worries.
Because I haven't read this book.
It's okay, it's okay. I'm going to ask you about the book that you are reading now. Let's talk about Little Women. It's going to be easier for you.
Oh, Little Women. It's a book written, it was written like 100 years ago. It's a classic novel, and it's about 4 girls, 4 sisters, 4 siblings, who are showing 4 types of characters, and the author takes us from their childhood to their womanhood, and unfortunately we lose one character, Bet.
Yes.
But it's a part
pity.
of Victorian novel, you know. In every Victorian novel, somebody's supposed to die.
Yes. This is just a plot that we are interested in.
But you can read it. Actually,
It's okay, it's okay.
fun,
It's a very nice
very
book.
good Christmas read.
Yes. And have you already saw the movie?
No.
No? You can watch it. It's a very nice movie, especially the latest one, the newest. Have you watched this movie? Okay, let's move on. Let's have a look about this book, Elizabeth the Queen. So let's describe this book. So, Olga, can you help me, please?
Well, Elizabeth the Queen, it's a book written by Sally Smith. It's
Okay.
a biography book, and it describes the life of the most famous monarch in the world. And according to this book, we have a beautiful Netflix movie.
Yes, thank you very much. So, Elizabeth the Queen is a biography book. It is written by Sally Smith, and this is the story about the life of the world-famous monarch. Exactly what you told us, Olga. Thank you very much. So, have a look at your homework, guys. I will ask you to write a paragraph, 2 sentences, please, no more, about 2 books we discussed today. So, let's summarize. Let's have a look at the books. Little Women, Elizabeth the Queen. The next one, Olga, can you help me?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Good. Number 4,
Lord of the Ring,
bravo.
Harry Potter,
Anne
of the Green Gables,
Gables, fantastic.
Star Wars, and Sherlock Holmes.
Okay. So, again, among of these 8, which is going to be your favorite? Let me guess, Little Women.
Little Women's my favorite, but I'm gonna read Anne of the Green Gables.
Fantastic. Probably later you will tell us about this story. Okay, my favorite is, of course, Sherlock Holmes and Elizabeth the Queen. I like reading detective stories and biography books. So, I hear the bell ringing. It means that we need to stop the lesson. Did you enjoy the lesson, Olga?
Yes, I did. It was such a big fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And thank you for joining us for the lesson. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Я дивилася з дому школу онлайн і думала, коли мене покличуть. Коли подзвонили, сказали, прийди, я з великою радістю погодилась, бо дійсно це можливість оживити процес, який нібито зупинився. Тому дякую за таку ностальгію і можливість навіть перевірити свої знання.